Welcome to Decoding MENA, the show that unpacks the hidden layers of Middle Eastern geopolitics in a time of rapid and unpredictable change. The past few days witnessed a dangerous escalation between two major powers, a war that nearly set the entire region on fire. But has it truly ended? Or are we simply in a temporary pause before the next explosion? To explore what really happened behind the scenes, we are joined by strategic affairs expert, Dr. Yasser. Welcome to Decoding MENA, Dr. Yasser. Let's start right away. The war between Iran and Israel began suddenly and ended just as unexpectedly. How do you describe what took place?
Thank you. What we witnessed was a multi-layered event that revealed new regional dynamics. Let me begin with something that surprised many. Qatar's air defenses intercepted 18 out of 19 Iranian missiles targeting the U.S. Udeid Base. That's a military feat worth noting, especially when the U.S. and Israeli systems only managed a 60% interception rate. The big question is, how did Qatar pull that off?
That's a critical question, Dr. Yasser. Was this the result of advanced technology, or were there other hidden factors at play?
This brings us to a key point. Reports suggest that Iran pre-informed Qatar of the missile strike, including the timing and coordinates. This allowed Qatar to evacuate U.S. forces an hour in advance and fully prepare its air defense systems. Even more revealing, the missiles aimed at Qatar did not attempt to evade interception, unlike those targeting Israel. This clearly shows the strike was more symbolic than destructive, sending the message, we hit the largest U.S. base in the Middle East. And the one missile that landed, it was part of the act, to make the strike look real.
So, are we talking about a coordinated performance? And what about Qatar's surprising role in ending the war, especially after U.S. and Israeli mediations failed?
That's absolutely right. Qatar played a central role in halting the war. After 12 days of failed diplomacy by the U.S. and Israel, it was Qatar's intervention that ended the crisis within hours. In fact, Emir Tamim received a personal call from President Trump asking him to mediate with Iran. This highlights Qatar's unique position and its deep ties with Iran, rooted in shared interests like gas cooperation and the 2017 Gulf crisis support.
What conditions did Trump place on Iran to end the war, and did Iran actually agree?
Trump demanded that Iran stop firing first, while Israeli operations would continue for 12 more hours, then halt. In return, Trump gave his personal assurance that Israel would commit to a ceasefire. This showed how eager the U.S. administration was to end the escalation.
And what about Qatar's threat to respond to Iran's missile attack? Did they retaliate?
No. The Qatari Prime Minister spokesperson stated that Qatar remains a dove of peace and would not abandon its duty to reduce suffering in the Middle East. So, Qatar chose not to retaliate, preserving its role as mediator and preventing further escalation.
Dr. Yasser, some say Iran came out of this war stronger, but isn't that strange considering their nuclear sites were bombed?
That's the real point. Despite targeted strikes, Iran retained its nuclear capability, its uranium, its expertise, and its ability to build a nuclear weapon. Statements from the U.S. Secretary of State, Newsweek, and the U.K. Defense Minister all confirm the strike did not stop Iran's nuclear program. What's more, Iran walked away with increased popularity, both inside the country and across the Arab region. They proved they're a formidable regional power with one of the world's most advanced missile systems.
So this war was a net gain for Iran?
Without a doubt, Iran entered at the right moment and exited at the right moment. They defended their nuclear program, responded effectively, and most importantly, they gained regional prestige. Many now see Iran as a force resisting both Israel and the U.S. And let's not forget, Iranian missile prices have likely skyrocketed on the global arms market.
But what about Gaza? Was this war really just Iran versus Israel with no mention of Palestine?
Unfortunately, yes. This was a bilateral war, Iran and Israel only. Ending the war was not tied to a Gaza ceasefire. Israel continued its operations there and even recovered the remains of several captives during the same period. This proves that Iran's so-called axis of resistance was absent from any serious negotiations.
Dr. Yasser, this was a rich and revealing analysis. You've helped us uncover layers the media ignored. But the final question remains. Has the war truly ended, or are we simply in a tactical pause before the next round? Will Israel and the U.S. now resort to internal destabilization in Iran? And what's the fate of Iran's nuclear program? Dear viewers, the answers to these questions remain uncertain. What is certain, however, is that the Middle East is full of surprises, and decoding it requires sharp eyes and deep understanding. Don't forget to subscribe to Decoding MENA, hit the notification bell, and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next episode.